lack of wind in an ocean of endless calm is met with both celebration. We're now within the Solomon Sea, well and truly leaving Australia behind now. And despair. We're just drifting around in circles. On one hand, it means we've entered the next chapter of our journey across the Pacific. But on the other, we're adrift in the inevitable windless doldrums, working tirelessly for every inch we're able to move the boat forward. Up, down, in, out. Solomon Sea has got us working. This may be the most physically and mentally demanding leg of this race. These equatorial conditions are really trying. You're either running light wind sails or reefing down with 2 reefs in the main, prepared for a cyclone. We're sitting ducks in the storms that surround us, and it's a luck of the draw if we get hit.
She's hidden now! Wow.
This is a story of a daughter saying yes to her mother's crazy idea to sail across the Pacific Ocean, double-handed and non-stop in a race from Australia to Japan. 5,500 nautical miles along the rum line, sailing through multiple weather systems and climates. Yep, it's certainly a trip we'll never forget. It's currently day 12 of 38. We've travelled 1,666.7 nautical miles and we're making our way up Australia's far northeast coast. But conditions are beginning to shift for us. We have good news and bad news this morning. The good news, I'll deliver that one first, is that a competitor has popped up on AIS for the first time in probably a week. And the bad news is a northeasterly has come in and we're heading horrendously off course with no signs of it shifting in the next few days. We are still moving along, but just not in a good direction anymore. That's okay, we're catching on Magellan. That's exciting. We won't get our hopes up too soon, but hopefully we come within a decent range of them that we can maybe have a chat. While Mum and I have found our groove on the ocean, lapping up the blue skies and even bluer water. I think you meant to put it in your hair, Mum. I think you meant to put it in your hair and not moisturise your face with it. Oh my god, it's all over you. It was only 12 days ago we were on the start line. Staring down the barrel of roughly 5 weeks at sea, and for me, the biggest endurance event of my life so far. It's the beginning of our journey. I can't believe the next stop is Osaka. It took us some time to settle into our new existence out here, especially as the start was nothing like we hoped.
We'll see you in December in Japan!
As we drifted through Bass Strait, a stretch of water notorious for its ferociousness.
What a way to start a race.
We struggled to find good pace and rhythm until day 5, when a southerly front graced us.
Wind ahoy!
It was the wind we needed for our sanity and our progression north.
Oh, what a dream!
In our time floating around Bass Strait, most of the fleet shot ahead of us. But at last, a tactical decision paid off as we found a strong northbound current. This current has helped us so much to keep on moving forward. An easterly breeze filled in and we began putting good miles under the keel and started catching the main pack. For the last few days, we've barely had to touch a thing, with the boat happily charging along. Until now. We are doing something incredibly rare. We're going to try and tack Who would have thought that? It has been quite a few hundred nautical miles since we've tacked, but we're getting pushed more and more west and we want to go north. So let's tack this bad girl over. Do you think it's been an appropriate amount of time between tacks?
I think the last tack was about 6 days ago. We're not going to know ourselves. Yeah. One leg's growing longer than the other.
This was the beginning of our flight to get into the Solomon Sea. The next chapter that felt so close and within reach, but with the wind blowing out from it, we were forced to tack and point our bow either to the east or to the west.
Alright, tacking back.
Making only 3 miles in the right direction every hour. Those feelings of frustration and helplessness we felt at the beginning of the race crept back in.
At the moment we're steering 071, so we're 66 degrees off course, and the other tack we were 67 degrees off course.
But we tried to keep spirits high by enjoying these beautiful days that are just getting more and more tropical. Just like we're on a journey, so is June. And who is June, you might ask? Well, we want to take just a quick moment to introduce you to and thank this week's video sponsor, June's Journey. June's Journey is a hidden object game set within a detective story. To me, June's Journey is like Where's Wally, but with a storyline, all taking place in the glamorous 1920s period. I love that throughout the gameplay, June's Journey presents you with a constantly evolving and diverse array of characters and enables you to, scene by scene, unravel a myriad of mysteries as you locate the hidden objects. The thrilling mystery story keeps things fun as you follow the protagonist, June Parker, on her quest to solve the murder of her sister and get to the bottom of her family's many hidden secrets. The game also enables you to decorate your own island as you progress, join special events to gain in-game rewards, and join clubs to play with mates or other like-minded online players. June's Journey is a fun hidden object game that really comes into its own as you get deeper and deeper into its captivating storyline. So we highly recommend you check out June's Journey. You can download it for free by following the links in the description below or scanning this QR code on screen here, so you can start unraveling the mysteries for yourself. So thank you once again to June's Journey for sponsoring this week's video, and let's get back into it. We're progressing well into North Queensland now, but sitting about 400 to 450 nautical miles off the coast. It's been pretty stunning out here. We've had flying fish on the decks this morning once again.
These guys are big. I wonder if I should keep them for birds actually. Lon's just spotted the first 2 boats we've seen since Victorian waters, which is a long time ago now. We've got a ship on the horizon and Magellan. We can see Magellan, which is also exciting.
In our battle to close the final 10 miles between us and our competitor Magellan, who have been zigzagging with us, and with the wind weakening into one late afternoon, we decided to throw up our new favourite light wind sail, the Code Zero. Conditions were on the edge for flying it. A bit too on the nose and maybe just a tad too much breeze. But we gained speed. 6 knots over ground, and we were determined to catch our rivalry. we closed in on them from 10 miles to only 5. Until we came into another dilemma. A mishap, a debacle, something this trip hasn't been short of. So, about last night, Mum and I had a little bit of a mishap with the Code Zero. We're not having much luck with our spinnaker and light wind sail halyards. We can't get the spinnaker down, and guess who's going up the mast? Oh my god. We had another halyard problem, a halyard disaster, if you will. Yesterday afternoon we set up the Code Zero with the intention of trying to gain just a little bit more speed when the wind eased off. The wind was still fairly benign as we crept into the night, so we decided to keep it up. The conditions were very borderline, but we were flying along, we were getting good speeds out of it, so we thought we'd just keep an eye on it and we'll keep it flying. That was for all of my first watch until the wind progressively picked up and I decided I needed to get Mum up and get this thing down. But when we went to drop the halyard for the Code Zero to come down, Mum made a comment saying, the line is just like really thick. It's not coming down, something's wrong, the line's thick. I didn't really understand what she meant by the line is thick. But when I looked at it, I realized, oh my gosh, the outer sleeve of the halyard had chafed through, basically allowing the sleeve to slip down the core of the rope. And it was bunching up in the jammer that it goes through, causing the rope to be incredibly thick. We both haven't had this happen to us before, so we scratched our heads thinking, obviously we need to cut this line, but what's the best way we can go about this? And also, we don't want to just cut it and have the Code Zero free falling, because then we'll lose a halyard, which we'll probably need within the next 3,000 nautical miles. So in the middle of the night last night, in trying to get the Code Zero down, I was cutting out that absolutely rooted halyard and sewing onto it another spare halyard. I wasn't feeling 100% confident that this would work because I didn't know whether there was other places where that outer sleeve had gathered and bunched up and might get caught. But yeah, luckily it all went smoothly. Unfortunately, in that time, Magellan managed to sneak another 5 miles ahead of us, which is such a bummer because we were creeping up on them under 5 miles. So yeah, it was a bit of a pause in our tracks, trying to get that sorted and allowed them to creep away from us once again. When these things happen, it's not great, but it's kind of fulfilling when you can overcome these small challenges. It makes you feel like you are capable. There's a lot of responsibility in double-handed sailing. There's no letting anyone else jump in and solve the problems for you. Regardless of the conditions or how tired you are, you're continuously forced to step up and outside your comfort zone. I think this is how you prove to yourself the extent of your capabilities, and why putting ourselves in a position like this was so appealing to Mum and I.
Alrighty, that's new halyard set up.
While the evening's drama lost us ground on Magellan, we didn't let them go too far, holding our position just shy of 10 miles from them. And I finally got a hold of them for a chat on the radio. A bit more torturous in the Solomon Sea but their company slipped away once again, this time a little further. The gentle conditions over the last couple of days weren't the only reminder that we were creeping into higher latitudes. Squalls are making their presence more and more known. They approach you as an isolated grey and gloomy cloud that packs a punch on its leading edge, tipping the boat on her side, and for a moment we rip through the water. But it doesn't last long. Heavy rain soon engulfs you, and it's usually in that moment the wind gets knocked out, leaving you now wet and wallowing. In the growing heat, squalls are a moment of relief. We quickly whip on our swimmers and get involved in the fresh water, pulling in our canvas.
This is the water that's going to wash my undies. Well, I don't think my freshwater haul is going to go very far. We'll have to use it sparingly. Well, if it's not going to wash my clothes. Woo! She's nice and cold. Oh, that was worth every drop.
As we crept forward, lucky to be doing a knot, we watched Magellan catch breeze earlier, which allowed them to finally flick us off their tail. That squall has really messed with our wind, but it's slowly creeping back in. Really feels like we're coming into the fickle tropics now, and there's even a rainbow ahead of us to welcome us.
Get some wind with that cloud. Yeah, they're golden.
There's not much we can do when a squall throws our wind, but sit and wait for it to eventually fill in again. In the meantime, we cook dinner and get ready for another night out here. Which seemed to be just as eventful as the days. We have a hitchhiker, finally! I've been wanting a booby bird for days and we finally have one. We continue to struggle getting to the Solomon Sea. The wind has only grown more unfavourable, however it has just pushed us into international waters. Well, it is official, we are currently out of Australian waters. We are about 76 nautical miles from the Louisiade archipelago, which is Papua New Guinea. We are not making good ground. We still have a northeasterly wind, which is making it impossible to get up there. So Mum and I have been tacking backwards and forwards over the last 48 hours trying to make some sort of northwards ground. Spirits today probably aren't the highest aboard Fika. It's just really frustrating. Once again, it was hard to feel like we weren't doing well, watching some of the fleet now breach the Solomon Sea, while we were still tacking back and forth, making minimal ground in the right direction. But on the morning of day 16, the daylight hours revealed a magnificent sight. We've just woken to Papua New Guinea. It's the first bit of land that we've seen since day 4 or 5. It's now day 16, 15 or 16. The sight of Papua New Guinea was a welcome one. Firstly, as laying eyes on Roselle Island took a little longer than we'd hoped, it feels good to finally be here. So I just did a bit of quick maths, which maths is not my forte at all, so I hope I've got this right. But I've just recalled that on midday on Sunday, I looked at how many miles we had to go until this island, which was about 160 nautical miles. Now it's Tuesday around midday and we're just going past it, which means, according to my calculations, which might be totally wrong, but that means in the last 48 hours we have averaged 3 knots or 3 miles in the right direction every hour, which is pretty mind-blowing. All the miles that we've made catching up to the main fleet after our shocking start have come undone in these last 48 hours, but we're keeping hopeful that once we get some good wind again, we can play catch up again. For the moment, we're just really grateful that we're passing Rossel Island. This island marks the beginning of the next chapter of our journey to Japan. It means that we've just ticked off Australia's humongous coastline that has consumed 2 weeks of this race. We look ahead now at overcoming the Solomon Sea. Let's hope and keep our fingers crossed that we can keep Fika moving forwards. And one more thing, how cool that we're now sailing internationally. That realization flooded a sense of joy and adventure through my body. Papua New Guinea, isn't that insane? It was another calm day with Fika only just coaxing along. The wind was the type of wind that felt like it could drop out at any second. While we were still moving though, it was the perfect time to do some washing that has begun piling high. We slowly approached the island, getting closer and closer as we got knocked by the wind. We were pushed so close we spotted plumes of smoke rising amongst the trees, and we wondered what the island is like and who lives there. The wind gently blew before it took its last breath and exhaled its final puff. Fika captured it and gently glided a few more meters before coming to a complete halt. Without a breath of wind, the heat penetrates you, highlighting the aches and fatigue in our bodies and makes everything a strenuous task. We worked lethargically on the foredeck, getting the light wind sail ready and hoisted. But not even the code 0 would fill. And we flopped around while a squall appeared and began barreling down on us. So just as I settled in with code 0, a big squall has come over and we've had to put the code 0 away. It's assumed that every squall holds a strong bit of breeze, so this means getting the light wind sail back in and dropped.
Nice and refreshing.
It is. It's like someone's just turned the air conditioner on for like 30 seconds. The squall lasted all of a few minutes, which meant we were back on the foredeck, hoisting the code 0 for a second time within the hour. What a little exercise. What an exercise. It was largely another day of slow progress. At least on day 16, we had an island to amuse us. But when the wind eventually did trickle back in and Fika was picked up and hurled forward, we were relieved to leave Roselle Island behind. And we hoped as night fell upon us that we wouldn't see the island again until maybe one day we returned to explore its land. Day 16 set the tone for what was to come for us over the next 420 nautical miles. Minimal to no breeze, interrupted by squalls. I have a love-hate relationship with squalls. And in some cases, large tropical storms. We were now well and truly progressing into this moody leg of our voyage. So we are now about 100 nautical miles into the Solomon Sea. It really feels like we've turned a chapter in our journey to Japan. It feels like a different world in here. There's It's funny how the ocean can feel so different, but it truly does. It feels like we're now, I guess, within the Solomon Sea, well and truly leaving Australia behind now. This is where the light winds become even lighter and even more fickle. We have a very variable light forecast. I think this is technically going to be our doldrums. Right now though, we have some wind, which is really nice. This code 0 that we're flying has been really handy. I'm not too sure what we'd do without it. We would not be doing the speeds that we're currently doing right now, which is still not very quickly, but we wouldn't be moving at all if we didn't have this thing up. So super grateful for it. With the code 0 as our key sail through these light conditions, we had to be on constant watch for squalls, not wanting to get caught out by a sudden gust of wind with this enormous sail surface. Things would get out of hand very quickly. With the radar detecting their distance from us, we're able to wait until the last minute before we roll away the light wind sail and prepare for a sudden burst of wind and downpour of rain. Now, after doing all that, getting the code 0 in, you just hope that this is actually going to hit you. But you sort of have to do that because you're better safe than sorry. You just don't know sometimes whether you're going to get 20 or 30 knots or it's just going to fizzle out. And it kind of looks like it's wanting to fizzle out. So just sort of have to bob and wallow until it passes, I guess. So far it's just a sprinkle of rain. It seems like it's a total fizzler. But when the wind generator gets fired up, here we go! We brace for impact and soak up the coolness it provides. Oh my gosh, so nice! I have a love-hate relationship with squalls. They're kind of a pain in the ass, but when it's this hot, they're just such a relief. Having some fresh water come down on you is just really glorious, but they do largely disrupt the wind. But fresh water is so glorious. Wow, look at all that. I have much more luck with my collection of water this time around. That's such a good little scream. Are you enjoying it as much as I am?
Probably not, because I feel all fresh and showered and with nice clean dry clothes on, so I'm being like little Miss Princess under here not wanting to get wet. Oh.
Eventually the squalls pass and the wind settles back in, lifting Fika up, and we continue on our way. We managed to make good miles for the rest of the afternoon, allowing Mum and I the chance to relax and just enjoy. Up here. Yeah. They're the ones with the white, are they, on their noses? We haven't had dolphins for quite some time. Nice to see them again. I'm pretty sure they're different dolphins to what we're used to as well, which is kind of cool. At this stage, we were progressing through the Solomon Sea better than we thought.
Oh.
The Code Zero was proving to be an incredibly useful addition to the wardrobe. To our surprise, we were putting away the miles, and we thought, are we even going to truly come to a complete halt? Although we continued to play yo-yo with the Code Zero, up, down, in, out, Solomon Sea has got us working. So far, following each squall, it seemed we would eventually get a gentle breeze and we would be off once again. But all it took was one particular squall to completely ruin our chances of moving. This time after passing, everything was entirely thrown out of whack and we were left with glass for an ocean. And unfortunately, this time round, the shortage of breeze would stick with us. We drifted in circles, literally doing 360s on the spot. A fishing boat passed by and we dropped the mainsail to inspect its halyard for chafing. I mean, there's definitely chafe there, but it's just so far like a bit of... Oh boy. It felt like we had just arrived at the Doldrums. We've completely run out of wind. We're just drifting around in circles. And we began agonizing over where we could go and what we could possibly do to find some wind. It suddenly felt like we were going to be out here for a lifetime.
It looks like more wind over there.
We have a big storm brewing just to the east of us. We're wondering whether we're going to end up in it or it's just going to skim past us. We're not too sure. We've been using the radar and it's been so incredibly helpful for all these squalls and storms. You can see exactly how far away our cell is from you, so that has been a really helpful bit of equipment aboard Fika. The storm rumbled in the distance. Over the afternoon, we watched it grow darker and creep nearer. By the early evening, we realized we were definitely in its line of fire. Bolts of lightning cracked, which got us moving, preparing the boat for a hurricane.
Just gonna pop in the second reef because we've got a huge storm. It's like 5 miles away, but just in case.
Then we sat like ducks, without a breath of wind, waiting for this ominous cloud to engulf us. Well, the sun has set now, and this thing still hasn't hit us. It's a little bit daunting having this big line of dark cloud coming towards you, but as Mum says, it should get us moving because at the moment we're very much just sitting ducks.
She's hidden now. I only got about 23 knots though. Wow, very wet.
There's a mixture of nerves and excitement as we sit with a huge metal stick protruding into the sky with bolts of lightning flashing overhead and all around. We both sit in awe watching the flashes light up the sky, but also we're tense. Trying not to think of the worst case scenario if we get hit. It truly is the luck of the draw. We hoped this storm was our ticket out of the Solomon Sea. Instead, we were lucky to have gained a few more miles. Figa has now covered the distance of 2,500 nautical miles and has climbed to 6 degrees south. Well guys, that's all for this week. We really hope you enjoyed the video and tune in next time. We haven't got through the doldrums just yet. We have another mishap, this time a little bit more major. That's a huge blow to our race.
It's irreparable, so yeah.
But if you enjoyed this video, then don't forget to subscribe, like, drop us a comment. It's always nice hearing from you, and we just want to say a huge thank you to our Patreons, of course, for making each and every video we post possible. So cheers guys, you're all bloody legends. We also want to say a huge thank you to June's Journey for sponsoring this week's video. Don't forget guys to download the app with the link in the description below or by scanning this QR code on screen here. I think that's about it guys. I hope you're all doing well and we will see you next time.